वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Srimad Bhagavatam 10th chapter 64 entitled Deliverance of King Freedom. Text number 21. एतस्मिन् अन्तरे यामे भूतैर्नीतो यमक्षयम् यमेन पृष्ठस्तोत्राहम् यमेन पृष्ठतस्तत्राहम् देवदेव जगत्पते एतस्मिन् अन्तरे यामे दूतर्नीतो यमक्षयम् यमेन पृष्ठस्तत्राहम् देवदेव जगत्पते एतस्मिन् अन्तरे यामे दूतर्नीतो यमक्षयम् यमेन पृष्ठस्तत्राहम् देवदेव जगत्पते एतस्मिन् at this antare opportunity yamai of Yamraj, Lord of Death, Dutai by the messengers, Nita taken, Yamakshayam to the abode of Yamraj, Yamena by Yamraj, Krishna question, Tatra there, Aham I, Deva Deva of Lord of Lords, Jagat of the universe, Pate, O Master. Translation and purport by disciples of Navami, Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada, disciples of Prabhupada. O Lord of Lords, O Master of the universe, the agents of Yamraj, taking advantage of the opportunity thus created, later carried me to his abode. There Yamraj himself questioned me. Purport. According to the Acharya, the king's performance of fruity activities had previously been flawless, but now an inadvertent discrepancy had arisen. And so when the king died, the Yamdutas took him to the abode of Yamraj called Shamya Mani. Omagyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shanakaya Chakshurun Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो मावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा Thank you everyone for being present today for Srimad Bhagavatam class. I seek blessings of all wonderful Vaishnavas assembled here so that I can speak something for my own purification. One of the best ways to impart lessons or teachings is through story. And we see Srimad Bhagavatam's stories are so profound and one can learn so many wonderful lessons from them. Today we are discussing this pastime of deliverance of King Mriga. It is one of the very profound stories and which brings out many wonderful lessons for our day-to-day life for practical application. So we saw here the story. mm, Maharaj Nriga is a very pious king. He has given so much charity. Practically, Yamraj, when he sees the record, he says, if you go to heaven, you can stay practically for unlimited number of years. He had done so much of charity. However, as the nature of this material world is, at least expected moment there can be some problem. The material world is designed in such a way that you may have all good intentions, you may try to do everything right, but still something may go wrong, apparently. We see how Niga had given uh, with a sincere heart many number of cows in charity to one Brahmana. Somehow, without his knowledge, one of the cow came back, and then again he gave many cows in charity to another Brahmana, along with that one cow also. And when the first Brahmana came to know that his cow is taken by second Brahmana, they had a fight. First Brahmana said, "Oh, this is my cow." Second Brahmana said, "No, this is my cow. King Niga has given me." So when there was argument between both, they both decided to go to the king Niga, and they came to Niga. First Brahmana, second Brahmana said, "My dear king, you have given this cow in charity to me." Niga said, "Yes, I gave this cow in charity to you." And then first Brahmana said, "My dear king, you stole this cow from me." Anyway, uh, King Niga had not stolen it, but the first Brahmana accused him of that way. So Niga was confused, bewildered, what to do. Then he understood that what had transpired. Without King Niga's notice, first that cow had come from first Brahmana to king, and king had given innocently, without any ill intentions, no intention to harm any Brahmana. So, but both Brahmanas were disturbed, and Nriga tried his best to pacify both the Brahmanas. He told second Brahmana, okay, you take 1 lakh cows. You give this cow back and you take 1 lakh cows. He said, Maharaj, this is not as per scriptures, this is not as per dharma. It is once charity is given, there is nothing way it can go back. So you are speaking something which is uh, adharmic, so I cannot accept it. Hmm? I am not interested in millions of cows. I am interested in this cow because you have given me charity. He tried to explain to first Brahmana, Are, you take 1 million cows or 1 lakh cows, whatever, be peaceful, be satisfied. He said, how are you speaking something adharmic, We have to follow dharma. Once you give charity, how can you take it back? It's adharma. So you see, in Vedic times, people believed dharma so much. They were any now in Kali Yuga, if some situation happened, they would say, okay, no problem. You can take this cow back. Give me 1 million cows. Sometimes they artificially may arrange that their cow may be stolen. They say, okay, give me more cows. But people in Vedic times knew dharma. What is dharma? What is not dharma? So they were concerned of following dharma. And they were not tempted by this material greed. And they were concerned, if you don't follow dharma, they will be in problem. So they were also not wanting to, But end result was both the Brahmanas were dissatisfied, angry, they left. And Riga couldn't do anything with his whatever little intelligence he had. And then it so happened that when his time of death came, Yamdutas came. Because of this one discrepancy, because of displeasing Brahmana, Yamdutas came. Yamdutas took him to abode of Yamraj, Samyani city. And when he was presented to in front of Yamraj, Yamraj said, my dear king, you have done so much pious activities. At the same time, there is some sin in your account. So, do you wish to experience the results of your sin first, or you want to experience the results of piety first? He said, indeed, I see no end to the dutiful charity you have performed, or to your consequent enjoyment in radiant heavenly planets. Practically, you have done so much piety, I cannot see end. It's practically, you can enjoy endlessly in heaven. So you just decide what you want first. You have committed one sin and you have committed a lot of piety. I'll give award you both, but it's up to you which you want first. He is very exalted. Yamraj may not give such option to everybody, but because he's so exalted, he asked. And then Nika said, "My dear Yamraj, please first give me punishment." So this is also actually people who are cultured people, civilized people. They are more concerned about their mistakes and rectification than enjoying. They may be concerned of enjoying also, but uh, they are more concerned about their mistakes. So he agreed, and because of that, he became a lizard. He became a huge lizard, and he became a lizard in that forest where we saw these personalities had come, Samba, Pradyumna, and all other sons of Krishna. And when they saw huge lizard fallen in that well, they tried to save him but couldn't save. Then finally they got Krishna. And then Krishna came, and just with his left hand he lifted him. And being touched by Krishna's hand, immediately that lizard gave up lizard body and got a beautiful celestial body, and everybody was amazed. Hey, how is this beautiful personality come upon? How is that lizard had transformed into such a beautiful personality? And then Krishna asked that lizard transformed to celestial being, tell his story, and that was actually King Niga. He started telling this story how he came about. So it is mentioned here that when Nriga became lizard, he was able to remember his past life. Hmm? Like Bharat Maharaj, when he became deer, he was able to remember his past life. He was conscious because they were great personalities, pious people. Similarly, we see Nalukwer Manigriv. Mm. When they became, trees, they were able to remember their past life and they are conscious. So now all animals may not be able to remember their past life, but these are special personalities who have done a lot of piety and also somehow or other they have received some good fortune. So one of the most important lessons of this pastime is that how one should respect and honor brahmanas and not especially steal their properties. Brahmana's property is property of Lord. So, and stealing the property of Brahmana or whatever can lead to great consequences. We see one time Srila Prabhupada, when he had come to Vrindavan, Prabhupada was trying to build these three temples: Zoo temple, Mayapur temple, and Vrindavan temple. So Guru Das Prabhu was in charge of Vrindavan temple, and he was sending reports regularly to Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada came to Vrindavan, Guru Das Prabhu informed that Mr. S, who had given that land for Vrindavan temple, now he is wanting the front portion of that land back, and he wants to put up their shops or maybe petrol pump or something like that. When Prabhupada heard that, Prabhupada was very disturbed. He said, "Arey, if the front portion goes to that person, then the whole face of the temple will be covered, and how we can there is no proper access to the temple, and how we can build temple." And he said, already we have spent lakhs of rupees here, and this was never earlier. He came with such a humble heart. He was saying, "Oh, Radharani wants me to give Swamiji this donation, so please accept." He said, "I accepted." uh, and then now how he's asking back? So then Prabhupada told Gurudas Prabhu to send him letter, mm, and then he sent letter. Then that Mr. S replied he wanted anyway that front side. So Prabhupada was very disturbed. Then he called his relative, some brother or something, and then his lawyer and all these things, and explained how he is trying to, he already gave us the land, and now he's want to take it back, the front portion, which is the most important portion. Anyway, other his relatives were convinced that what he's doing is actually not proper. But anyway, that person was adamant to get that front portion. So next day when Prabhupada got up early in the morning, 2 o'clock as usual for his dictating this thing, he used to write his commentary. That time then, after some time, Prabhupada called his servant. That time, Satsub Maharaj was serving as his secretary and servant. So Satsub Maharaj came, and Prabhupada was very grave and little serious. So Prabhupada said, "Bring Krishna book." Mm, mm. And then he was wondering, "Arey, why early in the morning Prabhupada is calling for Krishna book?" He got Krishna book. And then he said, "Read the pastime of Niga." And then Satsumara started reading the pastime. And then he was wondering, early morning, Prabhupada never actually asked to read, He generally early morning, he will write his purports, give dictation. Now, instead of that, why is asking to, read? But anyway, uh, mm, he thought better just read. So he started reading. Uh, he was not knowing this past time, but when he started reading and he heard about the entire this episode, how Niga, because of taking back that charity of a cow unintentionally, uh, he had to become a lizard. So, and then Prabhupada writes in that, mm, so Brahmana's property can't be taken under any condition, even by the government. Consequently, both Brahmanas left in anger, and as a result, King Niga had to take his next birth as a lizard. So, as Sasur Maharaj read it, he was wondering why Prabhupada is early in the morning. He's asking me to read this, and no. So he was thinking, as Prabhupada's servant, Sasur Goswami Maharaj read on, he suddenly got the feeling that Prabhupada had asked him to read this story to expose the cheating of his own servant. In a panic, he tried to think of how he had committed the offense of stealing from his spiritual master. He couldn't think of anything wrong. He was thinking, maybe did I steal anything that Prabhupada is asking me to read this early in the morning? So he couldn't think of anything wrong until he recalled having taken a pair of socks which which had been given to Prabhupada as a gift. Prabhupada was always receiving gifts wherever he went, and it was his practice after collecting different gifts to give to his disciples. Hmm? Prabhupada didn't use all these gifts what he received. So Prabhupada used only a fraction of the things given to him. So because it was cold in Vrindavan, Satswarup, who had no socks, had taken one inexpensive looking pair that he was sure his spiritual master would never want to use it. He had assumed that Prabhupada would not object, but now his cheating was indirectly exposed. After the story was completed, Prabhupada remained silent, as did his servant. So Prabhupada did not speak, and he was like, feeling, Baap re, abhi kya hone wala hai? Maybe I stole that socks. Prabhupada, that's why Prabhupada is asking me to read it. 5 minutes passed. Finally, Prabhupada said, now take this chapter and type it up. His servant acknowledged the instruction and got up to leave. But still it wasn't clear. Why had he read the story and why type it? Uh, Prabhupada then spoke again. Now I want to dictate one letter. Satsurab had a notepad with him and he sat down and immediately began writing Prabhupada words. The letter was to Mr. S. And Prabhupada referred to Mr. S. donation of land and to his desire to take back the front 50 feet. He reminded Mr. S. that according to original agreement, he had given the entire land with the sanction of Srimati Radharani. How could he say that now he was taking it back? Mr. S. should please reconsider what he was proposing. In this connection, Prabhupada was enclosing the story from Srimad Bhagavatam of King Niga. Mr. S. should read it and consider the implications. so, uh, Prabhupada, you see, this. So this practical application, no, of the story. Anyway, for all of us also, practically we have to be very conscious that, especially as devotees, we have to be very conscious. We should never take any property of Prabhupada or spiritual master or any other Vaishnavas or devotees or Brahmanas, anyone, because Krishna will seriously punish, will not just this thing. So Prabhupada sent that letter to Mr. S just to make him understand what are you doing. So this is the first lesson, that do not steal the property of Brahmanas. What you speak of stealing property of spiritual master or Vaishnavas, one has to be very cautious. If you want to use it, you have to use it with permission. You have to use it with blessings. So another aspect of this Niga story is that though Niga got a lizard body, he was delivered by Krishna. He got personal darshan of Krishna. One may wonder how. because he was not a great devotee of Krishna, or it doesn't seem that he has done a lot of devotional service. So how is that he got darshan of Krishna? So Acharya explained that it so happened because Niga was very famous for giving charity. One time, one devotee came to him and he wanted to build a beautiful temple for the deities, deity of Krishna. And he requested that please help me build this temple for Krishna. And he also wanted scriptures like Bhagavatam, all these things. And please help me with these things. And King Niga, because he had that charitable disposition, he thought it is a good work. So he helped in building a temple. He helped in arranging the manuscript scriptures and all these things. And this Vaishnava, this devotee was so pleased. So he just blessed him that may you have darshan of Supreme Lord. Hmm? So actually, Niga had done so many pious, but this was one. This is called as Bhakti Unmukh Sukruti. Otherwise, just Sukruti, just general pious activity, just doing good to other people, just doing some social welfare activities. That is piety. But doing service to Vaishnava, hmm, actually, that is Bhakti Unmukh Sukruti. Because he had, that was not his intention to, build temple or, do some practical devotional service. But because Vaishnava approached him, mm, and he helped Vaishnava. And Vaishnava was very pleased. Because he pleased Vaishnava, Vaishnava blessed him. May you have darshan of Supreme Lord. May you have audience of Supreme Lord. So since that time he was very pleased by the blessing and he's hankering, when will I get darshan of Lord? So this was in entire his career. This was one good thing he did. And because of that, we see he was able to see the darshan of Lord. Though he became a lizard, he was able to remember. And he also remembered that incident where he helped Vaishnava and Vaishnava blessed him. So if one does this Bhakti Unmukh Sukruti also, it has a great impact. He had done so much piety, but that piety could not save him. But this one Bhakti Unmukh Sukruti actually blessed him profusely, that even personally the Supreme Lord came and delivered him. So one can understand how powerful is Bhakti. So uh, when we are serving in temple, we are serving deities of love. One should know this is the greatest good fortune we have got. This greatest piety. This spiritual piety cannot be compared with unlimited material piety. One little spiritual piety is much more valuable than unlimited material piety. Just taking darshan of Lord, just offering one flower to Lord, just chanting one time Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Serving devotees Lord, pleasing devotees of Lord, it's unlimited good fortune comes. So we see Prabhupada established temples, and through established temple, Prabhupada is giving opportunity to millions of people to actually become fortunate. Anybody who are coming here doing little seva, mm, knowingly, unknowingly, willingly, unwillingly, whatever way, they are getting actually bhakti unuk sukruti. And those who are lovingly doing and they are pleasing devotees, there is no end of good fortune. And so, Prabhupada has created such good fortune for all the people of Kali Yuga. So, we see that this Niga was delivered because of his this one uh, service to Vaishnava and just pleasing that one Vaishnava who was great devotee of Krishna. However, Niga was a pious person, but he was not a pure devotee of Lord, like Ambarish Maharaj. We see in Ambarish Maharaj also, this material world is such a thing that whoever you are, some other thing will go wrong and there will be calamity, there will be problem. Inadvertently, some plus minus will happen. We see in Ambarish Maharaj's case also. He was such a wonderful devotee of Lord. Such a exalted person, very humble person. He had no intention to harm anybody. He was always servant of everybody. Though he was a very great king, he was very humble. Like Niga is also great king. Ambrish was also great king. Hmm. Niga was also doing so much welfare activity. Ambrish was also doing so much welfare activity. And we see Niga's life problem came. This some issue happened. Brahmanas became displeased. Similarly, we see Ambrish Maharaj's life also problem happened. Durvasa, who is also Brahmana and a great yogi, he got displeased. So he had no intention to displease him, but he got displeased. What to do? Niga had no intention to displease, but the Brahmanas got displeased. But if we see in Niga's case, he became a lizard. Whereas Ambrish Maharaj's case, Krishna personally sent his Sudarshan Chakra to protect Ambrish Maharaj. Brahmana Durvasa became angry on uh, Ambrish Maharaj. He wanted to kill. He couldn't kill him. Rather, he had to run away for his life. So this is difference between a pious person and a devotee. Pious person will not be protected by Lord. He may fall down just like Niga became a lizard because he was not devotee of Krishna. He was not a pure devotee of Krishna. Whereas Ambrish Maharaj, because he was pure devotee of Krishna, he was personally protected by Krishna. So we don't see here Durvasa Brahmana becoming angry on Ambrish. So Ambrish fell down. It didn't happen. Why? Because Krishna personally protected Ambrish. Anybody who is devotee of Krishna, he is very dear to Krishna. And Krishna personally protects. Whereas Niga, he was not pure devotee of Krishna. He had no proper understanding of Krishna. He was thinking piety is more important than Krishna consciousness. Sometimes people think morality, piety, charity, all these things, good activities are more important than Krishna consciousness or bhakti. So flaw of Niga was he didn't understand the tattva properly. There was tattva vibhrama. He didn't understood the proper position of Krishna, proper position of bhakti. How bhakti is so exalted. He thought mundane activities like piety, they are also very great. And he was having that as the goal, to be more pious and to earn more piety. And his goal was to go to heaven. Whereas Ambrish Maharaj, his goal was just to serve Krishna, please Krishna. He had no other goal. He didn't. He was not giving charity, and he was not doing service with hope that he will get anything in return. He was doing service as service to Krishna, to please Krishna. Whereas Niga was doing this whatever pious activity with the desire to go to heaven. So there is a big difference. Though externally we see material situation, both are kings, both are pious, but one is not a devotee, another is devotee. So because Niga was not devotee, when calamity came, he fell down and became desert. Whereas Ambrish Maharaj, when calamity came, which anyway, padam padam vipadam tesham, in this material world, calamity will always come, whoever one may be. But here, Ambrish Maharaj was protected by Krishna. So this is the benefit of becoming devotee of Krishna. So one can be always protected. We cannot be sure of material situation of this world. Material situations are always topsy-turvy. Anytime anything can happen. But if you are surrendered to Krishna, become devotee of Krishna, we can be sure that Krishna will protect. Whereas for pious person, there is not such protection available. Also, another in future we'll see in verses when Krishna tells Niga to please tell your story and let everybody hear. Niga start telling about his whole story, and in course of like today he is telling Niga is himself telling the story. I will just read it. O Lord of Lords, O Master of Universe, the agent of Yamraj, taking advantage of the opportunity thus created, later carried me to his abode. There Yamraj himself questioned me. Yamraj said, my dear king, Do you wish to experience the results of your sins first or those of your piety? Indeed, I see no end to the dutiful charity you have performed or to your consequent enjoyment in the radiant heavenly planets. Nriga said, I replied, first, my lord, let me suffer my sinful reactions. And Yamraj said, then fall. At once I fell, and while falling, I saw myself becoming a lizard, O master. O Keshava, as your servant, I was devoted to Brahmanas and generous to them, and I always hankered for your audience. Therefore, even till now, I have never forgotten my past life. So, in this purport, Acharyas give very nice commentary. Shri Jiva Goswami comments on this verse as follows. Since King Niga openly declared that he had two outstanding qualities, namely devotion to Brahmanas and generosity, it is clear that he possesses these qualities only partially, since someone who is truly pure would not boast about them. So he said, oh my dear Krishna, I was devoted to Brahmanas, I was generous. Jiva Goswami says, the fact that he's talking about it, that means actually he didn't have that qualities. Sometimes we say, oh, I'm truthful, I'm this. So if you are boasting of some quality, that means we have this quality only partially. When you have that quality fully, truly, one will not speak about it. One will be humble. So materialistic person, it's difficult to develop actually genuinely true qualities in full. Generally, they develop partial qualities and they get puffed up. Just see, I am so charitable. Just see, I am so compassionate. Just see, I am so merciful. Just see, I am this, that. So that means they are actually having partial quality. Okay, they are doing something, but it's not full. But Vaishnavas, by mercy of Krishna, they develop this quality fully. And when they develop it fully, they are very humble. They never talk about that. No Vaishnava, no devotee will say, my dear Lord, I have attraction for you and I am very devoted to you and this, that. The devotee say, oh my dear Lord, I have no love for you. I have no devotion for you. I am such a sinful rascal. I am such a useless rogue. They have humility. Whereas here we see Nriga lacked that quality. So pious person cannot develop this genuine qualities in full extent. Whereas devotees, just by their becoming devotees, they develop these qualities fully. So, and then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, when Nriga mentioned one who hankered to have your association, he was referring to an incident concerning a certain great devotee King Nriga had once met. This devotee was very eager to acquire a temple for a most beautiful deity of the Supreme Lord, and he also wanted copies of such scriptures as the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Being very generous, Nriga arranged for these things, and the devotee was so satisfied that he blessed the king. My dear king, may you have the audience of the Supreme Lord. From that time on, Nriga desired to see the Lord. So, so this was his good fortune that he was blessed by the Lord. So another thing, after this entire episode, we see how Nriga offered obeisances to Krishna and requests his permission to go to the celestial worlds, and Krishna blesses him, and Nriga goes back to the celestial world. So after that, Krishna personally instruct all the his associates that how one should be very careful in treating Brahmana and how one should always honor and respect Brahmana. Rather, in verse number 41, Krishna is telling a very amazing thing. So everybody can repeat this verse number 41, 10th canto, 64th chapter, verse number 41. Krishna is telling to all his followers, all these Dwarkavasis. Krishna is telling, my dear followers, never treat a learned Brahmana harshly, even if he has sinned, even if he attacks you physically or repeatedly curses you, always continue to offer him obeisances. Can you imagine? Sometimes we think, Arey Prabhu, what kind of this devotee is there? What kind of Brahman is? He's a fallen, he's sinful. I can do anything. I can punish, I can speak ill about him, I can do anything. No. Krishna says no. Even if somebody is a Brahmana, what to speak about? Devotee. Jai Shishi Nitai Gauranga ki Jai. Sometimes we think, oh, because he's speaking ill about me, because he's attacking me, therefore, no, or he's cursing me, therefore I'm dealing with him harshly. Krishna is saying, we cannot deal with any Brahmana harshly, even if he's not in good standing, and even if he doesn't behave appropriately. Mm. So, if even if he's repeatedly cursing and physically also, he said, appropriate thing to do is just offer obeisances. And we see Amrish Maharaj is the perfect example. You see, Durvasa was so angry, upset on Amrish Maharaj. He was so upset that he wanted to kill Amrish. But Amrish did not develop even a tinge of negativity to Durvasa. He didn't say, Arey, you are showing your power, I will show my power. Arey, what kind of Brahman are you? Control your anger. What is you useless guy, you know? You are big yogi, but you don't know how to behave properly, you know? He did not say anything. Uh, Durvasa apparently, what Krishna is saying, you see, he actually cursed him. He was wanting to kill him, physically attack him. But what did Durvasa, Amrish Maharaj do? He just folded hands. And later on, Krishna sent Sudarshan Chakra, and then he had to run for his life. And then finally, when Amrish Maharaj came back, he understood. Sorry, Durvasa came back. He fell at the feet of uh, Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj actually fell at the feet of Durvasa. Amrish Maharaj never said that, Arey, अच्छा हुआ सबक सिखाया आपने, no? He said, oh, Durvasa, please forgive me. Because of me, you had to suffer so much. And immediately, he honored him, respected him, washed his feet. He tried to please him with great love and devotion. He did not see any of the fault of Durvasa. Rather, he had a greatest regard with great love and respect. He served uh, Durvasa. One may think, what is this Brahmana? He is not behaving proper. But no, he was respecting Durvasa as a great Brahmana and a great yogi, and made him sit comfortably, served him nicely. He begged forgiveness from him, mm, and completely satisfied him. And this is what Krishna wants everybody to treat. Krishna doesn't say tit for tat. Hmm? So the Krishna's expectation from devotees is really, or his followers is very high. And we see Krishna coming in form of Chaitanya. He has taught us, Tunadapi Sunichena, Taroriva Saishna, Amanina Manadina, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Krishna is saying we have to be humble like blade of grass. We have to be tolerant. Even if other person misbehaves, one should tolerate. Mm. And one should not expect respect, but offer respect to everybody. Chaitanya is not saying that respect only for Brahmanas in good standing. Respect only. Chaitanya is saying respect everybody. Forget of Brahmana. He is saying respect all living entities, not only Brahmanas. So, these are direct Krishna's instructions, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. And if we want Krishna's mercy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we should at least understand them soberly. Uh, it's too much, it's too much. How much Krishna is respecting Brahmanas? Yeah, Krishna is respecting Brahmanas so much because they are following Varnashrama duties, or they are doing yagyas, they are reciting mantras. Though they may have material desires, but they are accepting authority of Vedas, and they are teachers of the society, and they are representing Krishna in the society. So, because Krishna has given them position of something, and Krishna is also protecting them, assuring some protection. So, now imagine if somebody hears like this, will anybody dare to deal with them inappropriately? So, Krishna is giving them responsibility, and also Krishna is also telling everybody how to respect them. So, and imagine if Brahmanas are to be respected so much, what to speak of Vaishnavas? Some Brahmanas may not be pure devotees of Krishna. They may be just impersonalists, or they may be in karmakandis, they may be interested in going to heaven. But Vaishnavas, for them, Krishna is Supreme Lord. For them, Krishna is life and soul. How much more honor and respect we should give to Vaishnavas? So, and especially when we are staying in temple and devotee circle, we should know all our Vaishnavas. They may do something, some little bit mistakes, but we should not take that seriously. We should know Krishna loves them very much. Krishna respects them very much, and I should also love and respect devotees. Hmm? Another aspect here we see apparently there was some offense to Brahmanas, mm, and Niga had to fall down. But one thing is we see that Niga's bhakti was not checked, and Niga was able to remember his past life, and he was also able to remember that he had helped one devotee, and one devotee had blessed him that he will get darshan of Lord. So he was able to remember that also. So it is explained that there are two aspects. Whenever there is any offense, there are two aspects. One is intention of a person who is doing offense, and another is how the other person is receiving it, how other person is perceiving it. It may so happen that person may have no intention of offending, but other person may perceive it offense. Like for example, Niga had no intention to offend, but Brahmanas took it as offense. So it is said that when there is no intention on the part of person who is doing offense, even if the offender, even if the other person takes the offense, the result is only that he gets material reaction and his bhakti is not checked. Like we see, because Niga had no intention to offend Brahmana, but Brahmanas took it as offense, so reaction was only material. He just got the material body of lizard, but spiritually he was completely protected because he had no intention. Spiritually he was able to remember his past life. Spiritually, he, in one way, he got blessing of Krishna. Directly Krishna came and saved darshan. So if we have no intention to offend anybody, an other person somehow he perceives it as offense, takes it as offense, then there is a reaction, but that reaction is only material, superficial. Whereas if there is intention to offend a Vaishnava, even if other person doesn't take it offense, then his bhakti will be checked. We see like Gopal Chappal. His intention was to actually bring bad name to Srivas Thakur. Srivas Thakur did not take it offense. He said, okay, fine. He said, oh, anyway, I am a so-called devotee only, and people are unnecessary, calling me as great devotee. It's very good. I am exposed. Very nice. He did not harbor any ill feelings towards Gopal Chappal, nor he took any offense. He took it as wonderful Krishna's mercy. But Krishna did not forgive Gopal Chappal. So Gopal Chappal, his bhakti was checked, and he also got leprosy. So he got both reaction, material reaction as well as spiritual reaction. So, so it's very important that one that in offense, uh, both parts may be there. That because two parties are involved. One is the person who is part of offense and person who is feeling offended. So if there is no intention of offense, then it's only material reaction, mm, and bhakti is not checked. We see another example, Chitraketu Maharaj. When he was flying in the sky, he happened to see Lord Shiva and Parvati, and he laughed. In one way, understanding their greatness, one way he think, "Arey, it's really very difficult. People will." So In his heart, he had no malice, he had no negativity towards Lord Shiva. Rather, in his heart, there was appreciation. But Parvati took it as offense and she cursed. So he got a body of demon. So he got a material reaction. But his bhakti was intact. In body of Ritrasura, as in the body of a demon also, he had that devotion. His devotion was not checked. And on even battlefield, he was able to offer such beautiful prayers. And then he was able to go back home, back to Godhead. So when we are talking about offense, it's not just mere words and actions that make offense. Rather, it's actually attitude and motives, the intentions within our heart that makes offense very serious. If we have right attitude towards other Vaishnavas, we have right motives, we have no ill intentions. Even if other person pursues offense, reactions are superficial. Superficial means material. Material reactions are superficial. Mm. Uh, and there's nothing much to worry about it. But real problem happens when we have negativity in our heart towards other Vaishnava. When you have ill feelings towards other Vaishnava, and we have some envy or hatred in our heart towards Vaishnava, uh, then the consequences are very dangerous. Sometimes we may speak very sweetly on face, but in our heart, if there is negativity, there is reaction for that also. Mm, mm. First reaction will be that person will not be very pleased with us. We'll think, "Arey, I'm speaking so nicely, I'm dealing so nicely. Why he is not dealing with me nicely? Why he is not having, uh, because our heart, there is some negativity. There is in heart, we have some ill feelings. So it's very important as Vaishnavas that as we practice and progress in Krishna, we have to be cautious about how, when we see Vaishnava, how we feel. If you feel something negative in heart, definitely in the beginning, we learn to at least externally deal very nicely, positively, and wonderfully. But later on, just mere external good thing behavior is not sufficient. We need to remove that whatever negativity we have in our heart towards whichever Vaishnava, senior Vaishnava, equal Vaishnava, junior Vaishnava, advanced Vaishnava, not so advanced Vaishnava, whatever. Any devotees are there. It's very important that we learn to honor and respect everyone and deal with it. Otherwise, if you have negativity, then that will somehow or other lead to some words and actions, and then there will be consequences. And that consequence will actually check our bhakti. Then we may have difficulty chanting Hare Krishna. We may have difficulty in practice of spiritual life. Sometimes we see somebody is practicing Krishna for so many years, but after some time, then there's difficulty in basic practice of Krishna. Why? Because of offense, because of cultivating negative feelings. Okay, when we come to Krishna, we may have a lot of material perception, material ideas, and in our heart there will be a lot of hatred, envy for different personalities. But as we practice Krishna consciousness, we should slowly get purified. Chanting has potency to get purified, and gradually have to be conscious that uh, I'll learn to honor and respect every Vaishnava, senior Vaishnava, junior Vaishnava, equal Vaishnava, advanced Vaishnava, not so advanced Vaishnava, prominent Vaishnavas, not so prominent Vaishnavas, whatever Vaishnavas are there, anybody devoted. So, because only then actually we'll be able to progress very nicely in bhakti. So, here we see that uh, there was apparently unintentionally offense, and the reaction was he became a lizard. A materialist person will be very afraid of it, or bapre, he became a lizard. But devotee, he is not afraid because he is able to remember Krishna. Bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakal yashan. Those who are desire for bhukti, enjoyment, those who are desire for liberation, those who are desire mystic power, they will be very afraid by external situations. But Krishna bhaktas are not afraid because they know if I'm serving Krishna, Krishna will protect me. Even if I become a lizard or deer, I will be able to remember him, and I'm most happy in that situation because my purpose of life is achieved. My purpose of life is not to become Brahma or Indra or something. Even if I become lizard, let me be a lizard who can remember Krishna always, and that body also can serve Krishna. That is the consciousness of devotee. Devotee never thinks there is injustice in this world. If we think there is injustice, one will feel very fearful. Baap re, kuch bhi ho sakta hai, kya bhi ho sakta hai. So much stress will be there. Devotee knows actually everything is happening as per arrangement of Lord. And Lord is my sincere well-wisher. And Lord will never allow anything to happen in my life that will, check my bhakti. That will be unfavorable for my bhakti. Sometimes materially some wrong, apparently materially negative reactions are there. Maybe that is good for me. Devotees feel. And sometimes materially there is some reaction. Devotees become more humble and more attached to Krishna. Instead of becoming angry with Krishna, hey, I am such a great devotee. How could you make me face such reactions? You protected Ambrish. You are not protecting me. I am also your devotee. Uh, no, devotee feels so very nice. Krishna has punished me. He has taken all my wealth. Krishna has taken me all my name, fame, glory. Krishna, okay, maybe that is good for me. And a devotee becomes attached to Krishna more. Like Prabhupada, his all money was business was lost. He was not upset with Krishna. Hey, I'm such a great devotee. How can you? I wanted wealth only to serve you, only Krishna. What is this? Why did you take it away? Maybe you don't understand or what. We say Kritadyuti, wife of Chitraketu Maharaj, when her child was, oh, time is up. Sorry, when child was taken away, she became so angry. He said, "What kind of vidada is this? What kind of providence is this? Is unexperienced? This that started blaming." But we say, Srivas Thakur, he was happy. Oh, it's Krishna's arrangement. Oh, sort of what a glorious. My son left in presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Wonderful. He has achieved perfection. So devotee, he has no material desire. So he's always uh, bhukti siddhi, bhukti mukti siddhi kam. Sakali ashant. They are always in stress, tension, anxiety, ashant because of actually material desire. Krishna Bhakta Nishkam, he has no material desire. His only desire is to serve Krishna, please Krishna. So Atayo Shant. Therefore he is peaceful, very happy. Though material world, every step there can be danger. But because he has no material desire, there is no danger. There's danger only on material platform. There's no danger on spiritual platform. So when we read story of Niga, we should not feel frightened, bapre, in material sense. Are my lizard hua to kya hua? Okay. Because anybody can, other people and other people's reactions are not up to in my control. They can feel offended. What to do? Okay, no problem. If I have no intentions to commit offenses, and inadvertently they take offense, my bhakti will never be checked. Maybe materially I may be, there will loss. But Krishna will sanction that material only if it is good for my bhakti. So there's nothing to worry. At the same time, what I have to worry is I have to worry that I do not cultivate any ill feelings towards anyone. And if I have any ill feelings towards anyone, I need to rectify that, because then if you don't rectify, that will have consequences. And also one can learn that how slowly we have to become free from all these material hankerings, material desires, because that will always keep us in stress and anxiety in this material world. But if you can give other desires and only cultivate this desire to serve Krishna, please Krishna, then we can actually happily progress in all situations. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol.